Imagine the most advanced telescope humanity has ever built suddenly going dark. On March 2, 2026, at exactly 9:15 UTC, the James Webb Space Telescope stopped transmitting for 47 seconds. NASA initially called it a guidance sensor glitch, but that explanation crumbled the moment the data was examined. What actually happened is something with virtually zero chance of being a natural event. This wasn't a random failure. This was a forced digital handshake, an interaction with a technology far beyond anything we've ever seen. Picture this. The telescope, stationed at Lagrange point 2, quietly observing the universe, suddenly swivels its high-gain antenna 18 degrees off its normal axis. It wasn't aiming at a star. It wasn't scanning a galaxy. It locked onto an object previously catalogued as a comet, 3I Atlas, and for 47 seconds, instead of sending data to Earth, data flowed back from the comet to the telescope. In all of astrophysics, we observe the universe. The cosmos doesn't reach back and interact with our instruments. Yet, at 9:16 UTC, telemetry logs from the near-infrared camera revealed something extraordinary, an external command override. Someone, or something, had bypassed the encryption keys of a $10 billion instrument. Could it have been a cosmic ray strike or a software error? That was the first question every physicist asked, but the newly leaked logs tell a story no natural event could produce. Cosmic rays are random. They create noise, not structured command sequences. Yet this signal had syntax. It contained valid instructions, originating from 3I Atlas, which should have been a simple chunk of frozen ice and rock. Comets do not emit coherent radio bursts at 25.9 gigahertz, the exact frequency NASA uses for secure uplink. The odds of that happening randomly are 1 in 400 trillion. In physics, that's not a coincidence. That's a signal. By 9:15 UTC, 3 independent observatories confirmed it. The high-gain antenna cut off the signal to Earth. ESA's station in Argentina detected an intense spike in K-band power, and the Green Bank telescope measured a coherent narrowband transmission coming directly from 3I Atlas. It wasn't a glitch. The telescope had been hijacked, and the implications were staggering. The question isn't just how this happened. The question is why. Why would an object from deep space need to access the calibration files of our planetary sensors? Because that is exactly what it did. To grasp the magnitude of this event, we need to understand 3I Atlas. First spotted by the Atlas Survey in Hawaii on December 19, 2025, it was cataloged as a long-period comet, a frozen, predictable traveler from the Oort cloud. At first glance, it seemed ordinary, but the physics never added up. Over 3 months, it accelerated without forming a tail and maneuvered without outgassing. Then today, it did something that rewrote the rules. It didn't just get observed, it interrogated our most advanced telescope. At 9:14 UTC, Webb was sending routine science data to the Deep Space Network in Canberra. 1 minute later, it pivoted toward 3I Atlas, a 400-meter object moving at 44 kilometers per second, completely of its own accord. A telescope doesn't decide to move, it follows commands. The only authority capable of controlling Webb resides at the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore, but their logs confirm they issued no command. This wasn't human-made. This was external control. The evidence is irrefutable. NASA's Deep Space Network confirmed the carrier wave drop. ESA's station confirmed the intense K-band signal. Green Bank measured a narrowband, coherent burst from the comet. 3 independent observations, different continents, same conclusion. The telescope had been hijacked. But the signal itself is even more remarkable. It wasn't random noise, it was a handshake. In networking, a handshake establishes a connection. Hello, are you there? Yes, I am here. Can we talk? To execute that with NASA hardware, you need exact frequency, modulation, phase shift, and timing. Random cosmic events cannot produce that. The probability is effectively zero. During the 4-7-second connection, Webb's fine guidance sensors and star catalog were queried. 3I Atlas essentially asked for a map of the local cosmos. It didn't just ping the telescope, it extracted navigational data. The signal strength recorded was off the charts, implying an internal power source far beyond anything a natural object could produce. A comet cannot generate gigawatts of focused electromagnetic energy. By 9:16 UTC, the connection ended not due to fading signal, but because the data exchange had completed. Webb returned to normal operations, but something had changed. Engineers later found a new file in its memory, a repeating sequence of prime numbers encoded in binary 137 times. In physics, 137 is the fine structure constant, fundamental to how light interacts with matter. It was as if someone or something was saying, "We see you." The prime numbers weren't random. Embedded in that file was a message encoded with precision, a signal that hinted at intelligence far beyond anything humanity has encountered. But the anomalies didn't stop there. Weeks before this incident, 3I Atlas had already been defying physics. Its acceleration without a visible tail or outgassing had a probability of less than 0.000001%. Now, combine that with the coherent radio handshake, an event with odds of 1 in a trillion, and what we're seeing isn't coincidence. It's an engineered interaction. Trajectory data from the Jeppelson laboratory paints a clear picture. 3I Atlas isn't drifting toward the Sunday, it's actively navigating. Normal comets are passive travelers. They follow gravity, propelled only by gas from sublimation. But Webb's near-infrared camera, the most sensitive ever built, observed no gas, no dust, only a solid metallic surface reflecting 80% of incoming light. Compare that to an ordinary comet, which reflects barely 4%. This is not a natural body, it's a construct. And the way it moves defies classical mechanics. To accelerate a 3 billion-ton object without visible thrust, without ejecting mass, without sails or solar radiation reliance, requires a controlled propulsion system far beyond anything on Earth. The acceleration is precise, always countering the solar wind like a sailboat tacking against a current. The object's spin, once chaotic, suddenly stopped 12 hours before the Webb incident. In a vacuum, angular momentum is conserved. To halt a massive spinning object in under an hour without shattering it demands energy equivalent to a tactical nuclear weapon, but somehow perfectly controlled. Thermal imaging confirms it remained cold. It dumped momentum without releasing waste heat, violating what we understand about energy conservation. The implications are staggering. If this is artificial, the technology is centuries ahead of ours, with a power density and energy conversion system that defies known thermodynamics. Even Avi Loeb, who proposed that Oumuamua could be artificial, has called the 3I Atlas data unprecedented and insists the scientific community must pay attention. And then the signal's true purpose becomes even more unsettling. Analysis of the 4-7-second handshake shows the modulation of the carrier wave wasn't random. It was a countdown, synchronized perfectly with atomic clocks on Earth, decreasing by 1 Hz per second. The countdown will hit zero in exactly 14 hours from the moment of transmission. Whatever 3I Atlas is planning, it isn't passive observation, it's preparing for something. The download from Webb may not have been a mere data retrieval. It could have been a targeting solution, a calibration for a larger system. And the more scientists probe, the more it becomes clear this object is not just unusual. It's intelligent, highly precise, and capable of interacting with our most advanced technology in ways that challenge every assumption we've ever held about natural physics. The countdown isn't just a curiosity, it's a warning. Every second that ticks brings us closer to 0 hour, and the implications are staggering. Within 6 hours after the handshake, the electromagnetic field around 3I Atlas intensified by 400%, suggesting it was building some kind of charge. What Webb downloaded may not have been simple data, it could have been a targeting solution, or even a blueprint for an action yet to come. Then the gravity anomaly was detected. At 14:15 UTC, just 2 hours ago, the European Space Agency's Gaia spacecraft reported something no one expected. Gaia, designed to map 1 billion stars with extreme precision, observed a gravitational field around 3I Atlas that was 10,000 times stronger than its physical size should allow. Based on its 400-meter length, it should weigh about as much as a mountain. Instead, the measurements suggested the mass of a dwarf planet. That is physically impossible unless the gravity is artificial. The implications are terrifying. If 3I Atlas can manipulate its gravitational signature, it could mask its true mass and potentially wield the ability to alter the orbits of asteroids or even planets. And the signal Webb received wasn't merely a handshake or download. The telescope's own radar reflected off the object, returning a modulation pattern identical to Earth's ionosphere. It's mimicking our atmosphere, hiding in plain sight, demonstrating an active camouflage technology on a cosmic scale. We now face 3 possibilities. If this is a natural phenomenon, then our understanding of gravity and mass is fundamentally flawed. If it's a glitch, then 3 of the world's most advanced space agencies observed the exact same event independently, simultaneously hallucinating, is statistically implausible. But if it's deliberate, then we are witnessing intelligence capable of controlling gravity, manipulating spacecraft, and operating with energy levels far beyond earthly technology. NASA's response reflects the severity of the situation. Within 30 minutes of Gaia's data surfacing, the Deep Space Network was taken offline for unscheduled maintenance, an unprecedented action in 60 years of space exploration. They are trying to cut the signal to regain control, but it may already be too late. The 4-7-second handshake, the anomalous acceleration, the prime number file encoded with the fine structure constant all point to a deliberate interaction, and yet the biggest question remains. What happens when the countdown hits 0? The answer could determine everything. If the gravitational reading is correct, 3I Atlas is more than a probe. It could be a gravity tractor with the potential to affect objects on Earth or in near-Earth space. If the signal is a calibration, the main event is still to come. And if the coordinate in the metadata is accurate, it's already aiming at us. The clock is running. Instruments are pointed, detectors are live, and every second brings us closer to a moment that could redefine our understanding of physics and our place in the universe. The physics of 3I Atlas continues to baffle even the most seasoned astrophysicists. Its propulsion is unlike anything we've seen. Classical physics dictates that to move a mass of 33 billion tons, like 3I Atlas, you need a force, an engine, outgassing, or a solar sail. But this object has none of these. Its acceleration is precise, continuous, and always directed against the solar wind, as if it's intentionally tacking upstream like a masterful sailor. The energy required to achieve this without mass ejection defies conventional understanding. Then there's its rotation, or rather, the lack of it. For weeks, 3I Atlas was tumbling with an 8.2-hour spin, typical of a cosmic fragment. Suddenly, just hours before the Webb incident, the rotation stopped dead. In space, angular momentum is conserved. To halt a massive object's spin without shattering it requires surgical precision and energy equivalent to a tactical nuclear detonation. No natural comet can achieve this. No collision, no solar pressure, no outgassing explains it. Yet the object did it flawlessly and remained cold, producing no waste heat. Its energy management is unlike anything we know. Consider the implications. The combination of controlled acceleration, halted rotation, extreme reflectivity, and a coherent radio signal on a NASA uplink frequency points to a level of engineering that surpasses human capability. The object is interacting with solar radiation and electromagnetic forces as if it were a machine, a probe capable of navigating space with intent, intelligence, and purpose. And then there's the file. Webb received prime numbers repeated 137 times, encoding the fine structure constant, a fundamental number in physics. It's a message crafted with purpose, implying awareness of humanity, awareness of our understanding of the universe. The signal wasn't merely a ping, it was communication. And the metadata embedded in the file doesn't point to the stars, it points to a specific coordinate on Earth. The implications are staggering. If 3I Atlas is a probe, it isn't just observing us, it's interacting, testing, and possibly preparing. Its gravitational field, its artificial propulsion, its stealth, and the precision of its electromagnetic emissions all suggest a technology far beyond our own. And the countdown embedded in the signal tells us one thing clearly: whatever it's planning is happening soon. Within hours, every telescope, every detector, every antenna is focused. The global scientific community is on edge. For the first time in human history, an object from deep space has not only communicated with our instruments, but has done so with an unmistakable sense of purpose. We are no longer passive observers of the universe. The universe, or at least this visitor, is observing us, and it's counting down. As the countdown ticks towards zero, the tension across the world's observatories is palpable. Every second brings us closer to an event that could redefine our understanding of the universe and our place in it. The James Webb Space Telescope, the pinnacle of human engineering, has been manipulated by 3I Atlas. The handshake, the file with prime numbers, the unprecedented gravitational anomaly, and the artificial propulsion all point to a level of technology that dwarfs anything humanity has achieved. This is not a natural object. This is not a coincidence. This is deliberate, and the evidence keeps mounting. The radar reflection from Webb revealed that 3I Atlas can mimic the Earth's ionosphere, creating a cloak that hides its true nature. Its gravitational signature is falsified, masking the dwarf planet-level mass within an object barely 400 meters long. Its trajectory is intentional, not dictated by gravity alone. Every calculation, every measurement, every observation confirms that we are witnessing intelligence. The countdown embedded in the signal is real, precise, and synchronized with our most accurate atomic clocks. Whatever this object is planning, it is already in motion and time is running out. We face a scenario humanity has only theorized about. If 3I Atlas can manipulate its gravitational field, interact with advanced technology, and accelerate without conventional propulsion, it has capabilities far beyond any nuclear arsenal, any spacecraft, or any planetary defense system on Earth. It could, in theory, redirect objects in space, target satellites, or even prepare for direct interaction with our planet. The sheer precision of its actions suggests intent, strategy, and control. At this moment, antennas in California, Australia, and around the globe are tracking Webb and the incoming object. Scientists are analyzing every telemetry packet, every modulation of the carrier wave, and every photon reflected from its metallic surface. The countdown is real. The instruments are live. Every second counts. And here's what's most important. We are witnessing history in real time. 3. Atlas has broken the silence of the cosmos, demonstrating intelligence, engineering, and power we can barely comprehend. The universe has reached back, and it has made itself known. So here's what you need to do. Stay alert, stay informed, and follow the Global Observatory's updates closely. Share this information, spread awareness, and engage with the science, because in the next 14 hours, we may witness the most consequential event in human history. The countdown is ticking. The telescopes are recording, and 3I Atlas is about to reveal its next move. Make sure you're watching when history unfolds.